Hello everyone, this is Shumona Ghosh. Today I have come with another YouTube video. In this particular video, I will give you a very short or a very brief outline, rather you can call it a very short summary of Joseph Conrad's novel Heart of Darkness. Joseph Conrad's novel Heart of Darkness recounts the story of Marlowe. Marlowe is the captain of a boat sent deep into the Belgian Congo. And while there, Marlowe meets Mr. Coots and through him encounters the Heart of Darkness. Now, come to my first point. Marlowe on a boat in the river Thames waiting for the tide to turn. Actually, the story begins with Marlowe on a boat in the river Thames waiting for the tide to turn. He recounts a story from his own time as a seaman. While looking for a ship, one time Marlowe is directed towards a Belgian company trading ivory in Africa. So that's my second point. Hope you can see. There he is offered a job. The job of piloting a steamboat on a river, and after having taken a medical, he sets off for his new job. When Marlowe arrives in Africa, he is struck by the brutality of the conditions the Europeans impose upon the Africans working for them. Marlowe is appalled by what he sees as quote unquote flabby, pretending, weak-eyed devil of a rapacious and pitiless folly. And he is inclined to think of it as a warning of what is to come. Then what happened? While waiting at the first company station for a caravan to take him upriver, Marlowe meets the company's chief accountant. There you see, Marlowe meets the company's chief accountant. Marlowe is impressed by him because amidst all the death, disease, and general lassitude, the accountant manages to keep wearing starched collars and properly ironed shirt. The accountant also gives Marlowe his first hint as to the nature of Mr. Coots. See, the accountant gives Marlowe his first hint as to the nature of Mr. Coots. Coots is apparently an agent who sends as much ivory downriver as the rest of the company's agents combined. Apparently, Coots is a remarkable person. After 15 days struggling through the jungle, see, look at my next point. After 15 days struggling through the jungle on foot, Marlowe arrives at the central station. He is immediately informed that the steamer which he was supposed to captain lies at the bottom of the river. And then what happened? The general manager, a man who keeps his post because he is the only one who can also keep his health, informs him that Coots may well be sick. So the general manager informs him that Coots may be sick. Then it is imperative that Marlowe retrieves the boat from the bottom of the river and fix it as soon as possible. This, however, takes some time, and Marlowe is increasingly filled with foreboding about the journey he will soon undertake. When he is finally able to depart for the inner station, Coots is more of a myth than a man to Marlowe, but he finds himself drawn to him. So that's my last point in this page. Coots is more of a myth than a man to Marlowe. Then what happens? So look at my point. I hope you can see. Therefore is devastated when the boat is attacked. When the boat is attacked from the shore, where arrows being shot, where the arrows being shot from amidst the trees, and everyone assumes that Coots has been killed by a similar attack. However, just before the manager orders the boat to turn back, they stumble onto the inner station. They are greeted by a Russian dressed as a harlequin who informs them that the attack on the boat was organized in the hope that they would leave Coots alone, assuming he was dead. So they assumed that maybe Mr. Coots was dead. My next point is, when Marlowe finally meets Coots, it soon becomes clear that Coots is very ill. He is obsessed with his plans and often delirious. However, after trying to run away, Coots is put aboard Marlowe's boat, and they set off for the central station. After entrusting his papers to Marlowe, including a document on civilizing the indigenous population, which ends with the phrase, quote unquote, exterminate all the brutes. Then we get to know that Coots dies, and his last words are, the horror. When Marlowe returns to Europe, he visits Kurt's fiancée, and despite declaring a hatred for lies, Marlowe tells her that Kurt's last words were actually her name. So that's a lie that Marlowe tells Kurt's fiancée. Heart of Darkness is based to some degree on Conrad's own experience in the Belgian Congo Free State, one of the foulest and most corrupt regimes ever installed. So, in this regard, this novel stands as an indictment not just of that particular colony but also of the whole project of imperialism. Initially believing in the justness of the European colonial mission, Marlowe soon finds that the imperial cause is the hollow to the core, wreaking a brutal cost on the indigenous population of Africa. Thus, as Marlowe travels deeper and deeper into the heart of the mystery of Africa, he finds not the enlightenment or just the results of a cause, but increasing darkness. Darkness is a pervasive symbol in the novel, often referring to malevolence. As a lack of definite article the in the title suggests, heart of darkness cannot be easily located. The confined to one place, for it is everyone. The darkness of the terrible deeds performed in Africa in the name of European civilization return to Europe and render that dark too. Interestingly, Conrad's own critique of imperialism has been turned against him since he wrote the novel. In particular, the great Nigerian author Chinua Achebe has charged Conrad with treating Africans in the novel as though they were primitive beings lacking their own culture. So, that was all for the summary. So, until next video, thank you.